Hey guys, it's Justin with Shock Therapy, and we are here to show you today how to tie down your UTV. Now, we've touched upon this in the past, and we had a lot of comments, we had a lot of questions, we got a lot of thank yous from our customers who've come in and said, really appreciate how we touched upon how to do that so they didn't have to ask their friends. Well, we're gonna do a 2.0 version of that right now. We've got the guys from Speed Strap here to help us out, the professionals as opposed to us, which definitely not professionals, right, Zach? So I'm going to turn it over to them, and we're going to kind of talk about the ways not to tie down your UTV first, things we've seen, and then kind of jump into the right way to do all of it, right?
Yep.
So take over, Zach.
We've all seen horror stories. I've had my kind of fun one was going to King of the Hammers this last year. I saw a Can-Am X3 Max on the back of a trailer with one single tie down on the front. It was only like an inch wide, made for like motorcycles and stuff like that. So to start off today, we're gonna go over how to not tie down your UTV, some of the biggest mistakes, some things we've seen, some of the really fun horror stories, and I'm sure you as the viewers have seen plenty yourself. So let's get started.
Take it.
So the first one we're gonna do here is this strap you see going down to the trailer all the way up to the cage here, right where the B-pillar meets on this two-seat RZR. As you can tell, it's a long distance going way high up on that car. There's a lot of ways this can come undone, get messed up, and as you can see too, it's all the way above the shocks. There's a lot of ways this car can move and bounce on the trailer. You guys in your mind, think if this is your car and you slammed on the brakes right now and the car went that way, what's gonna happen to this RZR? How is this tie down actually holding it down in place?
I can actually show you a little bit of that.
Yeah, I can see it moving. I got too many other tie downs on it right now though.
You got a little bit on there, but
yeah.
You get the idea that it gets very loose, very fast.
Yeah, so even, let's say right now, let's get this extra tight. Justin, jump up and down on this car right now.
Going down the road, going to your favorite place.
See if you're jumping up and down the road, see how much looser that got in what, 5 seconds of bouncing?
No effort whatsoever.
Really it is. It's way too high up. It has all that room, the car has all that room on the shocks to compress and move and up and down, and allows that car to move and this tie down to get out of place. Another point on here too, so rule number one, never go up high on the car. I've seen horror stories where people went over the cage, they went over the doors right here, and were just cracking down on the plastic. Justin, you said you saw one where they went through the doors right here, over the center console, and down.
You know what, I've even seen straight over the hood and straight over the rear fenders. I mean, literally a tie down crushing the plastics. Yeah, we've seen it all.
Yeah.
You know, we get quite a few cars dropped off every day. You see a lot of it.
Yeah, all the fun stuff you see on UTV fails at some point.
Yes, yeah. Yes, exactly.
Another point on this too, on this tie down, it doesn't actually have a soft tie on here. I just took that hook and just kind of looped it, you know, around the webbing right here. So as you can see on the car, even after we bounced it up and down, this tie down is almost halfway out right now, even though we have this retention clip on here. And it doesn't take a lot just to really get that undone and for that tie down to completely fall off the vehicle. Make sure that you're either going to a dedicated eyelet and putting that hook in so it's 100% secure, or like some of our tie downs, we have a dedicated axle wrap or a soft tie that goes around a metal bar like this and hooks back into itself, and it's 100% secure. Next up, we have this D-ring on the back of most RZRs right here. Probably about 90% of the RZRs I see tie down, they usually go to this ring and go over to either side of the trailer on there. But just like we talked about before, this is still kind of above the suspension. It's a little bit better, but it still does have some movement in it. As you can see that tie down bouncing up and down as you're going down the road and bouncing all around. See, it's a little bit looser now. Not terrible, but a little bit looser than when I had it. Ideally, you want to do it like we have here. You see this wrapped around the A-arm as close to the tire as you can, because the tire's not going to move. The tire's not going to bounce up and down. If you suck this tire down and hold it down to the trailer, it's attached to the hard point of the trailer. It's not going to fluctuate or move like the rest of the car is up here. So ideally, you want to have it tied down to the tire or as close to the tire as you can get on a good point. The A-arm like this. If you have a straight axle vehicle, like most Jeeps and buggies and stuff like that, you want to go to that around that axle. and as close to the tire where it's not gonna have that movement to it. Other point to show is, see this ratchet right here? It's not actually wound around the barrel the entire way. And if I really pushed on this, it's actually gonna slip a little bit each time and takes a hit, and it's slowly gonna unwind itself around that barrel. Biggest issue I see a lot of times when people talk about their tie downs got loose, it's because of this. Either they went up too high and the car was moving and it kept loosening the strap, or the car was moving and it moved the position every time, or they didn't get a full wrap of the strap around the barrel right here. When people do this, most of the time they pull the strap really tight, then they ratchet it. And as you can see, I'm pretty tight on the ratchet now, but I haven't wrapped around a little bit. So when you're tying down, when you're ratcheting, instead of pulling it really tight first, like this, give it a little bit of room and then ratchet it. Give that extra inch. And that will allow that strap to go all the way around. The straps touch each other like this, they provide friction, and they stay locked in on the barrel like that. So most people have the traditional ratchet tie down going on all four corners. As Justin just talked about, it's great to do this right on the radius arm right here. Like our straps, we make built in with a soft tie that wraps right around it, doesn't scratch the paint. It's always secure because we have this retention clip and the soft tie in right there, and goes back to your trailer wherever you need, wherever your tie down points are on your trailer. Some key tips on this is a lot of guys try to go really short right here. You want to make sure you actually have enough room to ratchet and actually get that really tight. So come back at least a little bit to give yourself room to actually get that ratchet tight and get it all in there. Other one, I know we're gonna hit this all in the comments, but guys talk about crossing your straps versus going straight. Everyone has their opinion on it. Everyone goes back and forth. I know, Justin, you have your own personal opinion on it too. My mind, and a lot of stuff we studied and we've looked at as well, going straight back usually is probably the best way to do it. If just for whatever reason you cross them, one of them comes loose, now you're allowing that vehicle to move. There's a lot longer distance in there where that vehicle can move side to side. All it takes is one little bump this way, and now this strap is loose as well. Versus if you have two straps coming down, going straight down to the vehicle, that one pops off. This one's not gonna move that much. It's still tight, it's still gonna stay tight. The vehicle's not gonna slide that much side to side or front to back, even with that one strap still holding on right there. So going down to the axle, A-rod, A-arm, whatever you have on there is, if you're using a regular ratchet like this, is the best way to go. Like we talked about though, ideally, the wheel is the one item on every UTV when it's on the trailer that should not move. It's closest to the trailer, it's farthest down. If you lock down this tire and you lock down all four tires, the car is still gonna bounce up and down on the suspension, but it's not gonna go anywhere. So for that, Speed Trap in the last year, we've actually made UTV tire bonnets that we have right here, and a through the wheel version that simply wraps through the tire and wheel and goes back down to the trailer, locking down that wheel. So this is our through the wheel tie down, probably one of the simplest tie downs we ever made. It's a D-ring on the end, a 8-foot strap, and then a hook on the end. Really simple and quick to use. Open it up, pop the end of that strap out. You can see over here, you're gonna wrap it through the wheel and through the tire. Why we do this end is it's not gonna scratch your rim, it's not gonna get in the way. This Polaris tire, or this Polaris wheel, is pretty open here, but you have the brakes behind it, you have a lot of moving parts in here that can get in the way if you're trying to put a metal piece like this through it. So simply take that strap end, wrap it through the wheel, put it back through that D-ring, pull it tight. It's gonna suck up against that tire. And then like you do almost every single time you use a ratchet, take that end, feed it through the barrel, and pull it tight. As you can see, it's now gonna suck this tire down to the trailer, hold tight. It works on pretty much almost any size tire, any size wheel, as long as you have some sort of space to actually put that really thin strap through. And like we talked about, it's gonna allow that suspension to still naturally float. It's gonna lock down this tire right here and keep the vehicle secure.
One thing that I want to let you guys know, we've seen people come in where they've got these tied all the way at the bottom, dragging it back, or they've gone through the wheel at the top, dragging it back. It's important that you actually have this tie down in line with the strap as it's going back to the trailer, so that when you tighten it, it doesn't try to rotate the tire back. So grab the closest place on this wheel, facing that ratchet strap tie down, and you've got it in the right spot.
Your gearbox will thank you.
Okay, as a suspension guy, there's one thing that you guys have to keep in mind. These UTVs have plenty of suspension, and as you're going down the road, they are going to move with that trailer like they're designed to do. What you don't want to ever do, just as Zach had mentioned earlier, is tie to the chassis, especially high up, where it's going to move. Take a look underneath this car. You can see how this suspension is going to soak up anything when you drive down that road or wherever you're headed to your UTV off-road area. You don't want to tie to the chassis because as it goes up and down, you're going to get a loose strap. As that strap loosens up and the suspension's going up and down that road, it's going to try to snap the strap eventually. First they come loose, next the UTV moves. Eventually, if you leave it alone unchecked, you can break straps and lose the UTV completely. So, rule of thumb on all tie downs, make sure you're not tying to the chassis if you can. You want to try to tie as close as you can to the tire, hopefully at the hub, at the arm, or at the radius rod, not in the middle of the radius rod, all the way out at the rod end, at the hub, if you can.
Next up, we have our UTV tire bonnet. As we talked about before, tire bonnets are probably actually one of the best ways to secure your vehicle, whether it's a UTV, a Jeep, a truck, a buggy, anything like that. We've gotten a lot of requests over the last 2 years to come up with our own, and we spend a little bit of time trying to figure out the best way to do it, researching it, coming up with our own original designs. Ours we're actually really proud of because it is adjustable. It fits on anywhere from a 26-inch to a 36-inch tire. A lot of the other tire bonnets out there, you have to buy them almost tire specific. You can only get one for a 33 or 34 or 35. With ours, we kind of messed around, sat there, figured out how the best way to do it, and we've made it so it fits almost every size UTV tire out there. So how it works is you have a strap going over the center line of the tire. You have a strap that goes around the front right here to this D-ring, and you have a strap that goes around the back of the tire to this D-ring. The way ours is adjustable is when you pull on both those straps, they both suck in against each other and suck in against the tire, holding it in tight. So it can fit on a 26-inch, 28-inch, 30-inch, 32, 34, 36-inch, and it's gonna hold tight to it no matter what. On the top strap right here, we see that we have these 3 different adjustment points we can run these through. If you have a smaller tire, like a 26-inch, you're gonna be running your strap through that one up there. When you're putting this tire bonnet over the tire, you always wanna make sure it's set above the center line up here. If you put it down too low, you pull it tight, it's just gonna kind of work its way down the tire like that, and eventually kind of come on the floor. So you always wanna make sure it's a little bit higher up on there. For that, on this center strap right here on both sides, you'll see we have 3 slots to go to. If you're running a 26-inch tire, it's gonna be probably up here more. 28-inch tire, you know, as the tire gets wider and bigger on there, you're gonna be in here 20 to 30. 34, 36-inch, you're probably gonna be using this last one on both sides just to be able to make sure the tire bonnet is in the correct spot. So let's show you how to set it up the first time. Take it, wrap it over the tire. Both these D-rings you wanna have set right about midline, like I said, just above the top half of the tire, and you want both these D-rings to be right in the front of the tread right here. You're gonna take this back strap. It only has a little D-ring on here for you to adjust the length on it. So kind of make sure that's in the right spot, work this around, work this D-ring length depending on where your attachment point is on the trailer and adjust it to where you need. Whoop. Then attach it and make sure it's tight. Make sure everything's set up nice on there. Then come on this side, you're gonna ratchet it down, and it's gonna pull the D-ring on this side, it's gonna pull the D-ring on that side. They're both gonna suck and kind of like a Chinese finger trap, pull against the tire and hold it tight. Make sure everything's nice and set on here. As you can see, even me pulling up on this, there's not a lot of movement on that top strap. Both of these have pulled really tight, and I have this set at the right length on here. So there's not a lot of ways that this tire can move. So another difference with our UTV tire bonnet is we left a lot of extra strap on here. Ideally, with any tire bonnet, you want to tie down to the trailer right in front of the tire, in line with the tire on either sides. So right in front of it, right behind it, in line with the tread. As we know though, not every trailer is set up that way. If you have ETrack, it's really easy to do that, and you plug in the little eyelets on either side of your tire. But a trailer like this, you're constantly putting different cars on it, a 4-seater versus a 2-seater. If you don't have eyelets perfectly behind and in front of every single tire, it's always kind of difficult to do that on most trailers. So with ours, we left our straps long on here. Allows you to adjust it, to go a little bit farther out on the trailer. Like this one you see, I'm going in just a little bit of a slight angle over to the side right here. As long as it's still maintaining its tightness, everything's tight on there, it's still gonna be good, but obviously ideally, and when you're setting it up on your trailer, you still want to kind of keep it as close to that center line as you can. So you can see this is the same tire bonnet set up on an ETrack system right here. Like I said, close to the tire as you can get on either side. But still same thing, every trailer is different, every car is different. This ETrack is a little bit farther inset from where the tires are on this vehicle. So like we said, try to get as close to perfect as we can every time.
All right guys, well that's a ton of information on ratchet straps and how to tie down your UTV. But we can put it very simply for everyone. In a good, better, and best scenario, the right way to tie down your UTV is, let's start with good. What's the first thing if you have the option?
Good, traditional ratchet strap, going to an A-arm, axle, or radius rod like this, ideally with a soft tie, making sure it's 100% secure and not gonna go anywhere.
And then what would be better than that?
Better would be a through the wheel tire strap like this, goes around, goes back, do those on all 4 corners or do a mix of both on there.
And finally, best is obviously gonna be the bonnet system.
Best is the tire bonnet. Fully secures on either side of the tire, so make sure both sides are secure on there. Wraps over the top, keeps it secure and makes sure that the vehicle can still float naturally on its suspension, but the tires are locked down. They're not gonna go anywhere, and that vehicle then is not gonna go anywhere.
So no matter which one of these options you choose, Speed Strap has you covered. Personally, we choose the tire bonnet system and high quality ratchet straps.
Now it's time for the shameless product promotion. If you want to set up these tire bonnets, we have them available in 2 different kits that comes with the bag and kind of everything else you need on it. Our essential UTV tire bonnet kit is $135.99. Comes with 2 UTV tire bonnets and the small tool bag on there. The bag is perfect just for keeping it all together, keeping it organized, stopping your friends from stealing it off your trailer, and all that fun stuff on there. Then we have our ultimate tire bonnet kit. Comes with 2 of our through the wheel tie downs and 4 of these little speed wraps. These are that little $2 item that's the dumbest thing ever, just 2 double-sided Velcros that makes a world of difference. So after you tie down your vehicle to the trailer, you have all that excess strap flowing all over the place, flying in the wind, hitting up against your car and scratching it and making marks and all that stuff. Use this, wrap it around that excess strap and secure it on there. I also personally like it when I'm storing all my stuff. I wrap everything up in a nice little bundle like this. I wrap that speed wrap around it and it keeps it really nice and organized for when I have it in the bag or in the back of my truck or anything like that. And this ultimate tire bonnet kit is $224.99. So I know all the time we have guys that want 4 tire bonnets, 1 on each tire. In that case, just grab 2 of our essential kits and you'll get all 4 with those 2 packs. Or you can grab our ultimate kit, get 2 tire bonnets, 2 through the wheel tie downs. And then the question I always get on what's the difference with speed strap tie downs, why are they different from what I've seen before and things like that. Ours are quality. We do a premium tie down that's built with UTV and off-roading in mind. So on all of our hooks, we do these retention clips. You've all had the same time where you go and hook something on, you walk to the other side and the hook fell off and you gotta go back and do it again. These hook on, they stay secure, they don't come off, they keep your vehicle secure. They save you tons of headache and frustration and all that. Other differences is the materials, the webbings, the ratchets. We all use high quality materials on there. You've heard kind of the noise, you can tell. It's a nice high quality one. We did really thick steel teeth on this ratchet mechanism and on the barrel. We did molded grips and rubber grips on here because like here in Arizona, in Phoenix, it's 350 degrees out right now. So it's really nice to have something not black and metal to touch on when you're trying to ratchet down something on your car. And then same thing, even for guys in the Midwest, like I used to live in the Midwest and it's 20 degrees below. It's nice not to have that bare metal going on your hand. A couple little things with the ratchet too. You open it all the way. There's two little slots right here. It opens it up so you can actually, it releases both mechanisms so you can pull that strap loose just by opening it up. You don't have to put your fingers on both of these every time. And also when you close it all the way, I have two locking teeth down here. So when you close that ratchet, it's not gonna come undone. It's not gonna come unloose, or that ratchet handle isn't gonna pop up at any time because it's locked down to the receiver. The joke that we always kind of have is, if you're buying a $30,000 UTV, do you really want to tie it down with a $5 strap you bought from the hardware store? We'd rather spend a little bit more money, a couple extra bucks, have a high quality ratchet that's actually going to secure your vehicle where you're not worried about it and you can trust it. So if you want to get any of these UTV tire bonnets, you can find them on our website at speedstrap.com or follow us on Instagram at speedstrap1. You can also find that at prpseats.com. It's our sister company we work with all the time. I will give you guys a heads up though. We make all of these tire bonnets in-house right now in Temecula, California, and we're back ordered. Kind of like everything in off-road right now, we are trying to make these as fast as we can, but we're still outselling them. So just be aware, look at the lead time whenever you check out the website, and that will just give you a heads up if it's either in stock right now or ready to go, or if we kind of have to build it to order.
What's going on, Justin?
Actually, what's going on is we're talking about how we're gonna fire you for today's issue.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's the hard part. When they always me when I'm doing like instructions and stuff, I go like this.
Yeah, I always go upper body. Like right
Yeah.
I always go upper body like right here.
I try to put them here and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Okay, I do need a clap, Justin.
Suck what?
The sequence camera.
Come on.
Yep.
No.
You going clap?
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's messing with you. He just got you to do it. That's all right.
He's like, I wanted to do something in this one.
Yeah.